Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 2 of our No Loan Challenge here on Transport Fever 2. Now, I have to say thank you for all the support on the first episode. I really do appreciate it, and of course there are quite a few new subscribers to the channel. Anyway, we're kicking things off essentially exactly where we left it, and we do have over $1 million in the bank. And like I said in that first episode, that is a really, really good start. One that like I said, I really didn't expect. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to just advance, and we're hopefully going to get into 1857. And I do believe that is when the new train comes into the game. So, I think we're going to pick that one up straight away. Because we should be able to afford it by trading in our current trains that we're using. So, the current... If we have a look at this one, for example... If we were to actually edit it, we could trade this one in by clicking it off there, and then obviously adding in the new train to the whole picture there. And obviously, we'll get a lot more speed. It does have a lot more kilowatt, which essentially means it has a lot more power and is able to push a heavier load. As we are currently, I mean, this train especially is currently, I would say, struggling quite a bit. Let's actually have a look. I kind of want to see how fast it's actually going to go. I don't think it's going to really get up to its maximum speed, which is 40 kilometers an hour. I mean, it might get there. It will definitely get to 30 before it starts to sort of decelerate a little bit. Yeah, so it's past halfway there. This is definitely not going to get to 40. But it will get to 30. Will it? Yeah, so there we go, 30. And now it's going to start to slow down a bit. Or is it? I mean, apparently it can decelerate pretty quickly, which I'm kind of a fan of. Anyway, how long is that bad boy? So... This guy is currently... I'm assuming that's what? 10? Yeah, so that's 10 tank cars. And this one is currently only 7. Which is actually fine. I feel like that is pretty fine. We still do have like a pretty big amount of refined fuel sitting there, and about half the same amount of actual fuel at the fuel refinery. And I think the shipping's not too bad at the moment as well. As you can see, Atlanta has definitely been popping off a little bit. Lots of new development, especially around here, which was sort of the roads that we created to implement the station over there. But they've also done a little bit of expanding down the bottom here as well. Which is essentially where all the fuel was needed. So once we start to provide some food up to this region, it should hopefully start expanding out this way. Which would be nice. It would be nice. And we are going to hopefully set up some sort of vehicles to transport the grain to the food processing plant and then down into Atlanta as well. It's kind of what I'm hoping to do in this episode. But obviously I really do want to get this new train. So hopefully it's coming right now. Yeah, there we go. The General. Perfect. Alright, so let's pause it there. Because what we want to do is essentially edit both trains. So let's get the Baldwin 6-wheel out of there. And let's add in the General. And as you can see, it's going to cost us about $346,000. So we buy that bad boy. Pretty expensive, but let's have a look actually. As you can see, 130 kilowatts, and it's mediocre instead of poor now. That's a lot more power. And obviously that means it's probably going to go a little bit faster. And it is actually a little bit faster compared to the Baldwin anyway. So that's pretty good. Let's do that for this train as well. I'm a little bit scared that it might delete all the oil, all the fuel that it currently has. A little bit worried. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to play it out. We'll let it drop off the fuel first. I'm not 100% sure if it would actually delete the fuel there. I'm assuming it probably wouldn't, because we're not actually deleting any of the fuel tanks themselves or the fuel cars. So in my opinion, it should be fine. But it's the no loan challenge. We just can't risk it at the moment. So we'll get that bad boy kitted up with a new train as well. And then we've got some money to play with. We really do. We've still got 1.2 mil in the bank account. Plus whatever we're going to make here, which is another 200,000. Alright, so let me pause it there. Do some more editing. Let's get rid of the Baldwin 6-wheel. Add in the General. Purchase that for 350,000. Give it a nice yellow color because it's our yellow train. And send him on his way. Okay, so we've dropped under 1 million. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm not really too fussed about that at the moment. I guess the next thing would be to upgrade this train a little bit more. Now, I think our platforms for our cargo stations, I think they're 160 meters. So that's something else we need to keep in mind. We can't actually be expanding our trains too long. So let's have a look. How long is it? It's currently 110 meters, so we've only got about 50 meters left to go. Now, I think we might want to add 2 more tank cars to this one. Going to cost us 407,000, but I think that's going to be a pretty good investment. Still mediocre as well, which is great. So we'll do that. Keep it on red. And we've spent a lot of money this month, or this year, sorry. So we might chill out for a second. And I think they should be the same length, roughly. So 12 tank cars for that one. And then we got 7... excuse me. 7 tank cars for this one as well. So, yeah. I mean, it's about even. And obviously, there's still a decent amount of refined oil sitting there anyway. And the crude train is actually coming back. Alright, so all that's sorted. The next point of business, I guess, would be to start building up here. And what we want to do is we need to put in some truck stations. So let's zoom in, because I want to get things nice and neat. So we do essentially want to try and keep it as far away as possible. As long as it stays white right there, we are fine. We are golden. So let me turn it this way. Let's go a little bit further out. See how far we can actually go. So it seems like it's about there. So let me just do a tight little turn here. And I feel like that's pretty good. That's pretty far away, actually. And it's still actually active. So that's not too bad. Then we need another one over here. This one doesn't really matter too much. I might just have a little look in the vicinity. So we do actually have another farm over here that we could potentially use as well and bring over. So with that in mind, I might actually keep it as close on this side over here as possible. Potentially, you know, just thinking about the future. Just thinking about the future. I feel like that actually looks pretty good right there. Okay. So the 2 truck stops are in. We just need a road depot. Of course, we do already have one in the town. But honestly, that's going to be a bit far away for them to travel all the way up this road. Just to start off our first sort of supply chain coming out of there. So what we'll do is, I guess we'll just put it somewhere here. We might just put it next to this farm. I guess here would be fine. Right there. That looks perfect. Alright. So now that's sorted out, we need to start a new line. We're going to go for Upper Atlanta Farm there, over to the food processing plant. And then obviously they're going to come in and drop off on Ridge Street, which is our unload stop in the city. And that's pretty much going to essentially be repeated over and over again. So they're going to obviously at stop 1 load up on grain. And then obviously at stop 2 they're going to unload the grain and then load up on the food. And then finally, last stop, they are going to unload all of the food and then repeat the process. Now, obviously, it's quite a long journey to get all the way back there. So it's a little bit unfortunate that they're not going to be carrying anything back. Which, you know, it does kind of suck. But at the same time, hopefully it'll be a fairly profitable sort of supply chain into that city as well. Alright, so with that said, we can actually start buying some vehicles for that line. So, actually, let's give it its name first. We need to give it its name. Alright, so it's going to be Atlanta Grain. Obviously, to food, to city. And then, of course, that's also going to be by a vehicle. So we'll give it a V. And there we go. Essentially just one whole running line instead of maybe splitting it up. We could have split it up and had vehicles just running back and forth here and then more vehicles running into the city and back to the food processing plant. But that would be a lot more effort. We might do it in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen with this line in itself. Let's start off with, I think 8 vehicles is probably enough. And let's hire them. So they need a blue color. So we'll give them a nice light blue there. And then we'll chuck them on the grain to food to city line for Atlanta. Now another thing I could do, let me pause it right here real quick. Alright, let's go back into our line. And I think for at least the start here, we want to make everybody wait at the grains so they get full loads. And that's just hopefully just to spread them out a little bit. Because we don't want them to be too close together. As they will probably end up sort of doing nothing to a certain extent. And we don't really want them to be running at least over to the food processing plant empty. As that's essentially just losing income there for us. Alright, so that's sorted out. We'll come back to that in a second and see how it's doing. Just want to double check and have a look here. So we're kind of running a little bit low on refined. Although another load's coming in now, so it should be fine. Another 84, so that'll make 42 more refined oil. And we've got a nice stack of 47 waiting there as well. Okay, I think that train's really, really operating at a pretty high level. That train line. It seems pretty perfect. Alright, maybe it might be time for us to look into doing something else. Now, the thing that comes to mind would be for us to obviously connect these two cities together with passenger terminals and then obviously have, I guess, bus routes going through each city. So we can essentially bring the people inside the city and essentially help them get around their own city, but then also go to the train station so they can then head off to Atlanta as well. That's kind of my mindset. I think that should be our next step. Because Atlanta's growing pretty well, and now we've got the food production going into Atlanta. Obviously, none of these guys are going to be carrying anything. But hopefully the food will start. I mean, some of them will be carrying something. But this guy's got 2 food. This guy's got 2 food. I mean, some of them probably have... I mean, he's got 4, so... Some of them have food, which is good. But obviously, it'll take a little while for the line to get up and running itself. Which is perfectly fine, because that's what it needs to do. It's going to lose you money in the start. But hopefully it's going to Going to do pretty well. So that's making 420,000 at the moment. Each time it comes in. Alright, we did also talk about this line down here. Which was our stone to construction materials plant. And then obviously the construction materials into Surprise. Now I'm kind of wondering if we just do a train for this one. We could easily just do a loop. And obviously there would be... The only time it would be empty would be from Surprise back up to the quarry. And then that's pretty much it. And I feel like that would be a really beneficial train as well. We probably should have started with that one. Now that I think about it. That would have been so much easier. It's just a perfect, I guess, triangle. But obviously with a train, you'd try and make it into some sort of oval or circle. I think next, though, what I want to do, because we do have, you know, over 2.5 million. First things first, actually, let's repay some of our loan. Let's go 1 million paid off, so we're down to 4 million total, which is going to be great. A lot less, you know, on interest, even though I kind of feel like the interest is kind of negligible at the moment. It's not really too pressing of an issue because we are making some serious bank. Alright. I think I probably want about 3 to 4 million, maybe 3.5, somewhere around that region, because that's a lot of train track to go from there down to here. And then we also need to buy 2 passenger terminals. So I'm assuming we'd probably make the passenger terminal over here somewhere. And then maybe have it branch off this way. And then come down. And then obviously it can maybe just join right there. I feel like that'd be pretty beneficial. Alright, let's actually have a look. How is the food line doing? It's making a profit. It is making a profit, so that's better than I expected, to be honest. Obviously, our big money maker is actually the fuel line, which I thought the crude would be better. Which is very interesting. Yeah, so I think we'll definitely just leave the train alone because it's making some decent money for us at the moment. Oh, we actually leveled up the refinery. The fuel refinery. So that's really good. Unfortunately, the oil refinery hasn't leveled up yet. I'm not sure if it will. I think we'd need to bring in another source of crude oil to really try and level that up. It's not really an issue, though. Not really a problem. And it seems like our vehicles in here are doing pretty well. They're definitely dealing with the amount of fuel that we have. We only have 2 vehicles. I thought we'd probably need more. But it looks like it's going to be fine. I feel like the only problem now we're having... let me also change this one, because I'm assuming we've got enough food over here. Yeah, so let me do this. It doesn't really matter, because they're always going to be full anyway. I might get them to wait here, though. See, he's not full. He's only at 2. Which is the amount that they bring in. So they can only take away 2 food, essentially. So they're only essentially doing half loads. But actually having them wait there is not going to really do anything either. Okay, so they're going to be doing half loads, actually, every time, now that I think about it. Alright, so I guess the next thing we could do is actually get our bus line set up here as we wait for our money to go up. So what I'm going to do is jump into a bus tram station. We've got a perfect little spot for it right here. So let's turn this around just a little bit. I mean, that looks great right there. Yeah. Let's get him in right there. Perfect. Alright. There we go. We also need bus stops, so let's put our bus stops around the town. The real question is, where do we want to go? So obviously, the train station, we need to plan out. The train station is going to be down here, on this road here. So we're going to need a stop there. I guess we'll probably do double stops. So we'll have a loop and then a reverse loop. So clockwise and then counterclockwise, going around both ways. That's obviously the best way for a bus to run, similar to how they do in real life. Obviously, you have loops, but when it comes to real buses, you have obviously different directions. But I guess they still essentially go the same places as well. So I guess we'll start there, come around here, chuck another stop here. They can then go up here. Chuck those bad boys there. Guess we'll go over here as well. It's going to be a pretty big one. Servicing most of the area, I would say. Alright, and then that can go back into the bus stop, so that should be pretty good. How many stops is that? That looks like about, what, 6 stops? I think that's kind of a perfect amount. Alright. So let's create a new route. New line, and we're going to start at the bus stop. Head over to what will be the new train station. The passenger terminal. Go around there. I think we'll go up here and then come in here. I don't really like that it overlaps there. But I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine. So we'll call this one Atlanta Bus Loop. Obviously it's going to be... We'll give it a B for a bus, even though it has bus loop in its name. So we've got that one, and I guess we'll go another new line, and we're essentially going to go backwards. So we'll start it off here, and it's just going to be essentially in reverse. There we go. I'm just hoping that this little area here is not going to be too much of a bottleneck. I probably should have brought it up this way more, so then it would have come around and just been a little bit nicer. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit worried about it, but obviously it's not going to be too much of an issue until we, get a decent amount of traffic going on. All right, so Atlanta bus, I guess reverse bus loop. And then we'll chuck in the B there as well. Okay. I think we'll chuck on 2 buses. And by bus, I mean horse-drawn carriage. So we'll buy 2 of those for each of our lines. So bus loop there. And then we'll grab another 2 for the opposite route, the reverse. Okay. As you can see, we're already getting a couple of passengers, so that's nice. Got 1 person waiting there, and 1 person waiting up here as well. 2 people actually waiting. 3, 4, okay. That makes me happy. It's already starting to go up. And we're sort of at the money that I wanted to actually start building the train line itself. But before we do that, I guess we want to build a bus line in Oxnard as well. I might actually pause it here for a second, because we do have the money we need. So let's see. I wanted to build the train, obviously coming in from there. So I guess we'll try and put the bus terminal here. The bus station itself. And we'll move that over a little bit. Might chuck it up here, actually. Right there. That looks perfect. Alright. Kind of did something funky with the road there. Kind of made the road a little bit narrower. Anyway, train station is going to be there. So, that's going to be our starting point. And I guess our ending point as well. And I'm assuming we probably want to come through here and then go all the way around. We could essentially go up and down through here. We might want to go down here and then back up here with a stop there. I'm not too sure how I want to do this. It's kind of a weird layout. I like it, but it's a little bit of a weird layout. I mean, we could just go straight through here. That might be the better option, and then up the middle. Yeah, I think we'll do that. That'll be our loop there. At least for now. Once they start to grow, they'll probably start expanding into here. So we'll probably go up the top and around. But for now, I think that looks pretty good. So let's grab our bus stops. So we are essentially going to start here, I guess. Go into here. Have them there. Have a couple more over here. I mean, these two are pretty close. I might actually delete that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete this one. Just not a massive fan of it. And I think we'll go here instead if we can. I guess there's fine. Need to make sure I delete this one as well. Otherwise, I will forget. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. That's like a decent loop around there. Hopefully it will service most of these houses in here. Or businesses, whatever they are. And obviously, I'm a little bit worried about these bottom guys. I could have diverted it this way. And then back out here. Let's do that, actually. Let me chuck one more in. And we'll chuck it like right here. And I feel like that'll be a really beneficial line. Okay. So new line. We're going to go... I guess we'll go this way first. Kind of makes the most sense. Up here. Up through there. Into there. And there we go. That's a nice little loop around there. I feel like it's kind of perfect, actually. Alright, so we'll call this one Oxnard Loop. Get a nice B in there as well. There we go. It's a nice brown color. Anyway, so we then need to add a new line as well. And this one is essentially going to be a reverse. So it's going to be these two stations or these two stops are always going to be the first and the last, if that makes sense. But then it's going to go up this way, come around this way, go down here, almost miss that one. And there we go, and it's going to finish off. This intersection here could also be a bit of a problem in the future. We'll just have to wait and see with that one as well. Anyway, Oxnard reverse bus loop. Okay, there we go. So we've got our two bus routes all set up. We also need to get a nice depot in over here somewhere. Probably over here. Just so it's sort of out of the way. Yeah, buses and trucks. Perfect. We'll get this bad boy. I mean, right there's perfect. as we get a nice autosave. Okay. So, with this bad boy, we'll just grab another two of each, and we'll chuck them both onto our 2 new bus routes. Go buy another 2, buy them, and then they can go on the Oxnard reverse. There we go. This one here should go away, the one I deleted already. So yeah, that looks pretty good. What I will do now, let's advance just a little bit, just so we see the bus routes take place. As you can see, that one's currently deleting itself, so that's nice. Obviously, there hasn't been a lot of growth in Oxnard because we haven't serviced it with anything. But hopefully, as you can see, we've got a few people popping up here and there. So once this starts to get moving a little bit, and they might experience a little bit of growth just with that bus route, because it can increase their public transport. This one seems to be doing pretty well. So I'm thinking it might be time for us to get our station in. I might actually extend this road here. I'm not 100% sure. Or I'll just keep it down here where I kind of said that I would keep it. Okay, let's start building. Alright, so we do need a passenger terminus. Well, not a terminus, we only need a passenger station at this stage. So let's turn that around. And we kind of want it to be in here, as close as we can get it. Just so the people coming off the bus itself won't actually have to walk very far. And of course, the only problem with this is the fact that it might... That looks pretty good. I just don't want it to clash with the road. So as close as we can get it would be perfect. I guess, like right there? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And there we go, we've got a nice little achievement there as well. Build a passenger train station. Now, in regards to this, the track's actually running out from there. They're going to have to run at a bit of a curve, and then obviously come all the way down here. Over into Oxnard. This one's going to be much more simpler. It's going to be straight, so very simple, very easy. We might have to get rid of one building there. Maybe not. We might be able to fix it. Let me do some more little movements here, and we'll get this. Hopefully. Oh, it's just going to fit perfectly right there. Could get it further in. Alright, maybe right there. Alright, there we go. Perfect. That's essentially as close to the road as it can get, so very happy about that. Okay, so here we go. Let's build some tracks. It's going to be very, very expensive. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to be worth it. It's definitely going to be worth it. Alright, let's see if we can actually just connect it straight up. Might need to go and zoom out a little bit for this. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do that because it's too much of a turn. Now it can go very straight out of there. Now let me see. Is there any way for us to have it? Whoop, did not mean to do that. Okay, that just got us out of that menu. That's perfect. All right, so we do want it to be really straight for most of the route. But we don't want to be building a bridge, so let's keep it there. That looks pretty good. Nice and flat. Obviously, around here, it starts to get a bit iffy. So let's continue straight to there. I guess we'll start on this side now. So we probably want it to be like about there. That looks pretty good, actually. I think that might actually line up pretty perfectly. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. Pretty close. Now, I'm wondering if we could actually... There is a way to lower and higher something. I've completely forgotten what it is. Now I'm just pressing random buttons, so that's fun. Okay, there we go. Alright. Let's go from this side. Okay, either way, it's going to be extremely expensive if we want to keep a straight route. Now, we could go around it to an extent. So I think we might try and do that instead. Or should we just go straight through? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Let's go around. We'll see if we can. I mean, that's still going to be super expensive there. Yeah, look how bad that is. That is really, really bad. Alright, there we go. It's only that one little section there. Okay, there we go. That actually looks pretty good now. That section kind of saved it for me a little bit. There gets really, really weird as it just kind of cuts straight into the land. But, you know, it can't be perfect. It can't be perfect. And that costs a lot of money. We only have 2.4 million left to actually spend on trains. Now, what we could do is buy 2 trains, which we might think about doing, but I think we're going to wait, first of all, because it's probably not going to be too profitable from the beginning. I am kind of glad we maybe we should have just done a tunnel there. This is going to add a serious amount of time to the trip, because it does slow down a little bit in here. But at the same time, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, let's we'll put a few path signals in here. I mean, I guess we want one going out as well. Okay. That looks alright. Alright, that should be fine. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to play out. Now, I guess we'll probably just build a depot right here, to be honest. I guess we could build a depot here somewhere. I could use the same one, but I'm kind of just a little bit worried. I don't really want to connect this to there. It would kind of just make things a little bit strange. And I mean, we have the money, so I may as well just get another depot. And I'm assuming we're just going to make it go straight into there, which will be pretty beneficial, actually. So there we go. It's kind of going to go straight out. We will chuck a signal in there. And I guess we'll have to chuck one here as well. Will we have to chuck one there? Probably not, actually. Okay, that looks fine. All right, I think it's time. Let's buy our train. Oh, actually, we should probably set up our route first. Our new line. All right, so Atlanta Sidings. Might want to change that name. I don't particularly like it. Kind of a weird name. That's going to be going into Oxnard. Literally just called Oxnard, which is perfect. Okay. There we go. Passenger train number 1. Didn't really think we'd actually be doing the passenger train for episode 2. I thought we were kind of going to do something with this, which we obviously have done. Yeah, passenger train. I was thinking maybe episode 3, possibly episode 4. So we're definitely progressing faster than I kind of thought we would go in my own head, which is a great thing. I'm really enjoying it so far, as you can probably tell. Alright, so we've got our route. We need to name it though. I guess first we'll buy our train. So we're going to go with the general. We will obviously upgrade that once we get a chance to. But the passenger cars are actually pretty good. They seem to hold a lot more as opposed to these sort of cargo carriers. Double the capacity. And double the loading speed as well. Really quick. Okay. The real question is how many do we want? They are a lot more expensive. Pretty much double the price. Hence the double capacity. I'm kind of thinking we just go for 2.1 million. Go for a 56 capacity. It's mediocre. We may as well just sort of see what it does. We can add more. Or we could just add another 56 capacity train in the future. So there we go. Get this bad boy blue. Check him onto that line. And we will rename it as well. And let's... Be nice if I could rename that. I'm pretty sure I can rename it somehow. Let's call this Atlanta City. I much prefer that, as opposed to Sidings. Alright, so Atlanta City to Oxnard. Sounds pretty cool. It really sounds pretty cool. And I guess we'll just call our line Atlanta City, I guess, to Oxnard City. Maybe passenger. And then, obviously, we'll put our T for train in as well. I guess we ran out of characters. That's fine. I essentially still know what it means. I wonder if we could actually... It's kind of annoying that you can't expand this. I know you can click that to expand it. But I like to keep it nice and small down there. It does... You know, it does tend to take up quite a bit of the screen. Anyway, so that's ready to rock and roll. We're only down to 240,000. So let's wait and see how this does. Obviously, we want to hopefully see a lot more people coming down to this bus stop here as well. Because obviously, at the moment, there is nobody waiting for the train. But I'm assuming that will change. Let's go down to Oxnard and have a look. Alright, so there's people waiting at the bus station. But nobody waiting for the train yet. Which has got me a little bit worried. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It is quite a far distance, so this could backfire. Honestly, if it does backfire, at least the light itself won't actually be wasted, because like I said, we can easily, once we get the fuel production up, we can just actually combine these two tracks here and send the fuel all the way down. So I've been thinking ahead. I've been thinking ahead a little bit. Alright, we've actually got people waiting. That's perfect. 5 people waiting for our passenger train. They want to go down to Oxnard. And we've got people at Oxnard as well. 7 people. Okay. So there we go. It's working. It's going to take a while. As with all things, we need to give it a little bit of time. Obviously, it's going to lose a little bit of money. But it will, as you can see. Oxnard's actually building down in this corner down here. That's good to see. And there's, you know, there's quite a few people at the bus stops themselves. We've got 17 people waiting. And they're going to Oxnard Transfer, which is actually over here. So they might all be getting onto the train. And it's finally coming in to actually pick up its first passengers. So wanna get this momentous occasion. I mean, it is a really good looking train, isn't it? Might try and get a nice little cheeky screenshot for this one as well. You know what? That looks like a pretty good screenshot right there. And there we go. That's probably going to be the thumbnail for the episode. Anyway, let's carry on. It is a very straight track, especially from here, as you can see. So it's definitely doing its job pretty well. Alright. I'm just wondering if there's anything we should do for Oxnard apart from, I guess, just paying attention to the train. I don't think we're at the stage yet where we can start shipping them fuel because... Actually, let's have a look. Yeah, so we're only up to 65 out of 93 for their supply demand. And as you can see, the food is pretty bad. It's very, very low. But we have made 110% more citizens for Atlanta. And that is going to continue to rise as we continue on. So once we get the food up and running a little bit better as well, let's actually have a look. So how's the food doing? It's making a decent amount of money for what it is. 25,000. I'm kind of wondering if we split the line. Or what we could do is just make another line and essentially run the line from the grain over to the food processing plant. That could be a pretty good idea. Just a separate line just going back and forth with maybe 5 or 6 horse and carriage. Because then our guys over at the food processing plant will be taking full loads instead of half loads down to Atlanta. I think we might do that. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's do it. Yeah, I think that's probably the best option we go for. Now that I think about it. So what we're going to do, new line, and we're just going to run between these two. Obviously, they're going to essentially get caught up as well. So this is going to be Atlanta grain to food. Obviously, V for vehicle, and we'll get that done as well. And this is just to help out the processing, because it is 2 grain for 1 food. So it should be pretty beneficial, like I said. And we'll chuck about 6 horse-drawn carriages as well. Look at these bad boys. They need to be like a dark purple. And send them on that line. There we go. So that should really ramp up the production now of this food processing plant itself. And I'm assuming they'll all be... Yeah, they all should be full. Although, they're not going to be, are they? I just realized that. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. What we'll do instead, to help this line out, we'll actually make them wait. So they're going to be loading up on grain. And obviously here, they're going to be unloading the grain. That's fine. And then we'll make them pick up full loads as well. Either way, I mean, by the time they all get back, their side should have stocked up a little bit more as well. So it should be fine. Ooh, I wonder if... They're probably not going to take their food, are they? So I might have actually messed this up. I'm thinking that I probably messed it up. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's delivering there, but it's going obviously into the food processing plant, which it's then actually turning out here because it needs to be shipped away. So I think we're fine. I think that actually worked really well. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of a build-up of food there as well. So hopefully no more half-loads. And look at this. We have 24 people waiting for the passenger train. The buses look like they're about full. 44 people. Okay, we need more buses. Which line was that? I need to check. That was the reverse bus loop. Okay, let's grab 3 more, I guess. So buy 3 of those. And then they need the Atlanta reverse, so that's orange. Atlanta reverse, there we go. Yeah, there is a lot of people waiting, man. Wow. Are they the same? Yeah, they're all going for the reverse bus loop. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. These guys are getting the normal bus loop. Normal bus loop. Yeah, it's a bit of both, I guess the people that live in these 2 areas, it's probably a lot short of a distance to go down here. That would be my thought process as to why they're not catching the opposite bus, because the opposite bus would obviously go around this way and go essentially a longer way to getting over here. So that makes sense, actually. Fair play to them. Okay. Where's our train? It's down here. How many people? 32. That's not too bad. It's making a profit. Kind of. And there is 33 people waiting at this station. So I'm assuming it's starting to make a profit now. Let's actually see how much we get for its current load that it's got. Should be relatively decent. Man, this is perfect. The perfect start. I mean, the money's starting to build up again. We're almost up towards 2 million in the bank. Of course, we could pay off a bit more loans, so let's do that. Repay another 500,000. We are coming towards the end of the episode. Just curious, I want to see how much we make. And there's 42 people waiting, so we're getting pretty close to actually having a full train. Which would be pretty decent. So 311,000, that's not even full. Oh man, that's pretty crazy. I'm liking that. I'm definitely liking that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, things are going a bit nuts at the moment. 42 waiting back in Atlanta. That's... and obviously there's like another 80 people here that are trying to get to the station. But we just don't have the facilities to transport them over there at the moment. Very interesting. And we're also getting some of our road vehicles being very poor. Wondering which road vehicles they would be. Ooh. I'm assuming that's... hopefully that's only one of these bus stops or something. Maybe not. Should have actually looked at which place that was. It might be up here. Yeah, I mean, it might still be that one. Hopefully it is. Anyway, it's going to be the end of the episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the likes and the new subscriptions from all you new viewers. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when one of these episodes comes out. And apart from that, guys, can't say thank you enough. And I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.